guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. If you haven't been here before, my name is Zoe and I'm an artist from Northeast England. I like to paint in a lot of mediums really. I like to oil paint and I enjoy watercolour painting, gouache, pencils, markers, they're all good. So in this video I'm going to do a sketchbook tour of this small Seawhite of Brighton sketchbook. This is a small square 15 by 15 centimetres, which is just about or just under 6 by 6 inches. I normally paint in the A5 landscape one. So this is a new one, I haven't started this one yet. And I've started the Etcher A5 landscape one, so that's normally the size I'd like to paint in, but this one you've seen in some of my YouTube videos. It was great for small studies and things like that, plants, leaves. But yeah, let's get into this. So the first page, I've blocked out my address, that's just my address. So I started this on the 16th of July 2023 and I finished it on the 4th of June 2025. So for this first painting, it's like a line and wash down by the riverside in Durham, near where I live. It's one of the spires, like restorations on the cathedral, and this was the inner bit of the cathedral, and they're just like the inner spire of the cathedral, and they just left it by the riverside. So this is one view of it. It's a line and wash with watercolour. The scale of this is really off. Like that bench is just way too little. Yeah. Another view further up looking down. The riverside down Durham, in Durham City, is really quite pretty. And this was stone stairs in the woods, leading nowhere, but I took pictures of these and painted these when I got back home. This is a line and wash again, both are. I like to use fine liner, then watercolours over the top. I think these were my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolour paints I used. These are tree studies. Yeah, I think there was flowers behind this tree and it looked pretty. Again, I love painting trees. That's the one thing I love to paint, is trees. Yeah. These are some corn dollies. This is the old traditional wheat weaving, and I just thought, I don't know where I found these pictures, on Unsplash or one of those free royalty-free pictures, and I seen these two and so I downloaded them and painted them. Yeah. This again was a picture from Unsplash, I think. Yeah, it was. I just thought I wanted to paint something moody, so again I painted a candle and a tree again. I love painting trees. Again with the line and wash, this is just watercolour. I think I might have used a bit of Posca ivory marker for highlights. Again, line and wash, fine liner with watercolour and Posca marker for highlights. This is roan berries, and yeah, this is a line and wash as well, I think. Yeah, watercolour. I think I used the Royal Talons Dusk Yellow. It's such a pretty colour, it's really quite granulating. It gives a good effect. Yeah, I thought these roan berries came out quite nice. These were blackberries. From my own pictures, I painted these in gouache. This is gouache as well. And this is hawthorn berries, hawthorn leaves. Yeah, it came out quite nice. some acorns and like autumn seeds, tree seeds, acorns, I think sycamore seeds, acorns and oak leaves. Again, I love doing, like, experimenting with washes, background washes. I particularly like the colours indigo and ochre together. I think that comes out quite effective. I think I have, I don't know whether I've got, I don't think it's this one. I thought I had a YouTube video on this, but I don't think. Yeah, I thought this came out quite nice. Again, line and wash, fine liner and watercolour with Posca, ivory Posca marker for the veins in the leaves, in the oak leaves. Yeah, this is line and wash again, and also again with the experimenting on the background washes, indigo and ochre, and Posca ivory for highlights. Some more acorns. You can tell we're getting into autumn now. This was in September time I painted these. Yeah, some more blackberries. Experimented with an orange background for this one. Yeah, some Posca for highlights on the berries, it makes them really pop. This one is a pyracantha. Took a picture from the pyracantha from my garden, and quite a simple painting, just, yeah. Some horse chestnut seeds, again with acorns, and this was lavender, purple and yellow ochre for the background. Yeah, this was again my watercolours. This is a sycamore leaf or a maple, no, it was a maple. This was a maple leaf, yes, from my garden. I seen it and it looked so pretty, and I took a picture and I thought I'll have to paint that. So yeah, this is just watercolour, and I think they're Posca, or is that scratched? I think I scratched off some watercolour to make some grass effects, some light grass effects, and I used my Posca ivory for the veins in the leaves. Quite a nice autumnal spread. Another autumnal spread, another leaf. I took quite a few pictures of leaves that were fallen on my front garden. This is a horse chestnut leaf, quite big. These leaves, quite big. So again, some watercolour splatter, fine liner with watercolour. This is quite simple. I just outlined with fine liner. Well, I drew with a pencil first, and then I outlined it with a fine liner. I went in covering it with water first, then dropped in the colour, and then concentrated the darker brown around the edges. We're getting into winter now. Yeah, the 12th, this was in December. This was from a downloaded image from, I don't know whether it was Unsplash or Pixabay. I think it was Unsplash. Both of these were downloaded images. I thought I really wanted to paint something festive and snow, so this came out quite well. Watercolour, I think there might be a bit of gouache, but this is the Winsor & Newton white ink for the snow splatter, and it came out quite effective. This is watercolour, line and wash, and again with my watercolour experimental backgrounds, indigo and I want to say light yellow and a bit of orange. Yeah, a seasonal page, and I think this is one of my favourite spreads, Sleeping Dormouse. Line and wash, fine liner, and then going in with the watercolour, again with the indigo and the ochre, and then little leaves around him. He's so sweet. And this one was a royalty-free image from Pixabay or Unsplash, I'm not sure which one it was, and I wanted to really experiment with getting like the look of like cold and frozen landscape, and this little kind of melted little snowman was so adorable I had to paint him. So this is one of my favourite spreads. I wasn't quite happy with how these turned out. These are winter aconites, and I think I gave up in the end. This one I think was gouache. Do you know what I think? No, I think they were both watercolour. But it's hard to paint yellow flowers, I think. It's hard to paint yellow flowers, yeah. I always struggle, but yeah, you know, you live and learn. I have a YouTube video on this one. This is bindweed and brambles. These are blackberry flowers with the blackberries starting. This one came out nice. I liked how this one turned out. So I will link this video and other ones that are in this book down below if you fancy taking a look at those. And I show you a few techniques on how I got painting this and what I used, if you're interested. Some poppies in the field. I took some pictures of these and painted them when I got back. I like the way the blooms turned out on this one, the watercolour blooms, and I like the effect overall, yeah. I like painting red flowers in watercolour. I think it always turns out quite nice. Again, very autumnal. Again, I've got a YouTube video on this one that I'll link down below if you're interested. I had a good time painting these. Rowan berries and some rosehip berries. Yeah, came out nice with watercolour splatter. And Posca, my ivory Posca for highlights, a few highlights here. Yeah. I have a YouTube video on this one as well. Again, I love painting trees, so I thought autumn trees in particular came out quite nice, and mushrooms, wouldn't be autumn without mushrooms. So yeah. Came out quite nice. I painted some more mushrooms and some cotoneaster. Again, Posca ivory for highlights, and I just scribbled some grasses and things. I thought it was quite effective. Again with some more cotoneaster from my garden, and this one as well. Again, just experiment with backwashes and splatter and different colours for the backgrounds. Some more mushrooms. I took all these pictures of these different mushrooms when I was out walking in the woodland. So again, Posca for the grasses. And watercolour blooms, different colours, keeping it an earthy tone overall. I have a video on this. I wasn't quite happy with how these turned out, but yeah, I quite like the background on this one. And I used a line and wash and coloured pencil. I can tell I've used coloured pencil, and I used some Faber-Castell, the Pit Artist markers, to define the grasses, the leaves on the snowdrops. This next one is, I think it was a cherry blossom, I'm not sure. I didn't write the name of that one. I can't remember, but I'll move that. This is a crocus, purple crocus, with Posca highlights and veins. Yeah, quite like how that one came out. And I love how the daffodils came out, because again, painting yellow flowers is hard, and it's hard to get right, but I think I achieved it quite well here. You'll have to let me know which spread you like the most. Let me know down below, I'm curious. So yeah, daffodils. These were periwinkle flowers I seen along the woodland edge, and I took some pictures and painted these when I got back. A bit more of an illustrative kind of style here I'm going for. Again with my Posca marker. Watercolour with fine liner. This is Gorse and this is Blackthorn. I took a picture of both of these and painted them when I got back. This is bird cherry flowers in the spring here. I think I used the Winsor & Newton white ink just for the highlights on this. Yeah, I think I might have used again the Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens on these bits here, I think. And this was again a line and wash with my Winsor & Newton watercolours. I think I used professional watercolours on this. So I liked how this one came out as well. Some bluebells. I took some pictures of some bluebells, so pretty. I thought I'd just do a full spread of those. Again, watercolour with Posca marker for highlights. Oops. This is a video I have. This is a video also on YouTube I made. This was the Hawthorn flowers and the Buttercups. They were so pretty. I took pictures of both again. Came out quite well. And the last page is some forget-me-nots. I took a picture of these and they looked so pretty, and I thought I'll paint forget-me-nots on the last page. Yeah, so you'll have to let me know which spread was your favourite, and if you have any comments, just write them down below. I will leave you now with just a quick flip through to some music, and I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely week or weekend whenever I post this, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.